15-7 overall. And for the Pride, 15-8, winners of 3 straight and 7 out of their last 8. Time now for the opening tip. The Pride in special gold uniforms this evening. Towson wearing the special baby blue uniforms. We've got a nice uniform matchup here for this very important conference matchup now.
Special uniforms for a special game. Let's get this one going.
It is Towson winning the opening tip, and we are underway. Thanks for making us a part of your Thursday evening. Sekou Silla, an early touch here for Towson. Now on the wing for Nigel Russell. And Timberlake will back it out. Nicholas Timberlake, leading scorer for the Tigers, just shy of 16 points per game, down to 5 on the shot clock. It is Russell for 3, in and out, and the Pride have the rebound.
And you mentioned Timberlake. He has been spectacular all year, averaging about 15 points a game.
Early touch here for Boachi Yadam in the high post. Nelson Boachi Yadam backs his way in. Pride big man to the left hand, blocked by Thompson, and comes out for Dubar. Keystone Dubar will try the 3. That one is short, and each team empty on their opening possession.
Interesting to see Hofstra trying to attack Thompson right away. He caused them trouble in their last matchup on January 16th.
There was a big Towson win down in Maryland a couple weeks ago. Tigers holding the Pride down offensively. 68-47, Tigers winning that one, holding the Pride to just 33% from the floor and 4 of 27 from three-point range. Speedy Claxton, after that game, Max said it just came down to the fact that Hofstra didn't make shots.
No, they didn't. And that starts with Aaron Estrada, who was 0 for 10 from 3 during that game. And, you know, we talked to the coaching staff earlier today, and they really felt like that was a fluke. And he's proved since then, especially with that Charleston performance last week, that was a fluke.
Tyler Thomas from downtown in the Pride on the board first. Thomas coming off a big game in the win at Charleston on Saturday. 17 points, 7 rebounds. As he continues to be a good second option for the Pride offensively next to Aaron Estrada. Touch inside for Silla. Backing down Dubar. Kick out. 3 for Russell is short. And Thomas has the rebound. Should mention.
Second possession, they've tried to attack Dubar down low in the post.
We talked about Cam Holden off the top. He has been coming off the bench as of late for Towson. That's why you don't see him on the floor right now. But Holden, such a dangerous player, and will be in the game in short order as he is getting up off the bench as we speak for the Tigers. 10 on the shot clock here. It is Dubar backing his way in. Keystone Dubar, nice move in the post. And the Pride have an early 5-point lead.
And Keystone Dubar working his post, inside move, outside move, then puts it up with the left hand.
Off to Ryan Conway, the redshirt freshman. Get it back to Thompson inside. Good extra pass for Russell. Swung around to Conway. Good ball movement here from the Tigers. Timberlake wide open for 3, and that's an easy one.
And that's not a shot. Nicholas Timberlake will miss much. 36% three-point shooter. Great scramble defense for the Pride. Just left the wrong guy open.
And Timberlake had a big game in this building last year in a Towson win. 26 points, made 4 threes, and was 8 of 11 from the field. Boachi Yadam has passed off the mark for Thomas.
And that was really good by Hofstra, because notice off the screens, you'll watch them, they hedge hard when off-ball screens before Aaron Estrada, and then they get the ball down low to Boachi Yadam, and the extra pass into the corner, which is a pass you expect Boachi Yadam to be able to complete most of the time.
Well, Speedy Claxton very happy with his team's performance Saturday down at Charleston in the 3rd ever win for Hofstra over an AP-ranked opponent. Called it a great team win, said everybody was tremendous, everybody contributed for the Pride.
And especially on the road. He's been real proud of how the Pride have handled themselves on the road, calling them road warriors.
Touch inside again for Thompson, comes out to May, who's in the ball game. Christian May misses the 3, and Boachi Yadam has the board. Christian May and Cam Holden both in here. Thomas, another 3 is good, and Tyler Thomas has a couple of early ones.
And how about the awareness from Keystone Dubar, recognizing immediately that a trailing Tyler Thomas was wide open.
8-3, Pride on top here early. Good ball movement from the Tigers. It is Silla in the corner. He's got Estrada on him. Sekou Silla Backing his way in, using his size, but he stepped on the baseline. Turnover by the Tigers.
And that was great scramble defense. But this reminds me a lot of the start of the last Towson game, Kevin, where Hofstra jumped out to a 13-4 lead in the first 4 or so minutes of the game, as you see Tyler Thomas hitting the 3 from the wide open left wing. And then after that first media timeout, Towson really started to take over and kind of control the rest of the game from there.
Carlos is fouled by Thompson there on the screen. This is really a converse of styles. Hofstra likes to get out and run. They want to play up-tempo basketball. Towson is playing, how we've seen the first 4 minutes of this game. They want to slow things down on the offensive end. They play gritty, tough defense.
Yeah, and Towson, their MO is holding teams under 70 points. They do it all the time. And Hofstra, their MO is scoring 70 points. They've done it in all but 2 games in CAA play. And so it's really a contrast of styles. Towson got the better of them in the first matchup. Hofstra trying for revenge today. Aaron Estrada called it a get-back game.
Jaquan Carlos kicks out for Estrada. Good look at a 3. Aaron Estrada is off the mark. Again, he was 0 of 10 from 3 in the first meeting down at Towson. 5 of 17 from the floor. Was the only Pride player in double figures with 10 points in that race. Timberlake bouncing inside for Holden. There's Cam Holden to the hook shot, and he has his first 2 points.
And that's the strength of Cam Holden, recognizing he has the smaller defender on him, making one move and then a couple dribbles, being able to push that ball in with the right-handed floater.
Carlos, a wide open 3 is short. Estrada able to keep it in bounds. And Estrada, baseline drive, and he's fouled. Now check that, he stepped on the baseline, so turnover Pride will be Towson basketball when we come back. Good early start for the Pride. Have made a couple of threes thanks to Tyler Thomas. They've held opponents under 67 points in 5 of the 6.
And that's the MO of Towson. We talked about it at the start of the game. They play slow. They force you to make the extra pass. They're so disciplined defensively, holding you to one shot, and they're a really good defensive team.
Timberlake mid-range jumper in and out, and it's Thompson on the offensive glass. 3 all-league players on this Tiger squad, Thompson, Timberlake, and Holden. As Thompson is called for an offensive foul, that will be his second already here, just over 5 minutes in.
And that's huge for the Hofstra Pride, because Charles Thompson was spectacular in this last game. Not on the score sheet, didn't have the most flashy statistical game against Hofstra, but what he was doing to disrupt their defense and then force them into difficult situations, and especially keeping Estrada at bay, he would be a big loss if he has to go to the bench early.
So Chris BQ in the game here, replacing Thompson as Dubar misses the 3. That is a big loss here, and we'll keep an eye on Thompson if he gets back in the game in this first half with those 2 fouls. More good ball movement from the Tigers. 3-pointer is short from Conway. And Yadam has it, and he will start the break himself. Thomas, open 3. Tyler Thomas short on that one. He did make 2 earlier. Tyler Thomas with his first miss of the night. Comes to Timberlake for a transition triple.
And if you're D-Stone Dubar, you got to react to that quick or get out on him. Timberlake, one of those guys who can catch and shoot so well. Hands at the ready. Showed it off right there.
Carlos, cross-court pass for Thomas. He'll take the long 2. Tyler Thomas in and out. And the Pride have gone cold here. They've missed their last 5 from the floor. Holden at the elbow, bouncing inside for BQ and foul. They got it on Yadam, who got Chris BQ on the arm.
Yeah, and that was a good job by BQ, recognizing that Holden was moving to his left. Yadam kind of, you can see him here, helping a little bit to the left, had to come over to the right side and hack and BQ on the arm.
Chris BQ, junior from Montreal, Quebec, first ever recruit for Pat Scarry from Canada. There's just 8.3 minutes per game, but looks like it's going to be because of the Thompson foul trouble. Higher in that category tonight. But the main reserve big man for this Tiger squad.
0 points in 9 minutes in their last matchup against William and Mary, as we said earlier. A 92-73 victory for the Tigers. Their season high in points, so their defense has been here all year, Kevin. But if that offense really starts to score at that type of pace, watch out, rest of the CAA.
forced the Pride here into a lot of half-court sets. Did not let Hofstra get out in transition. There's Estrada up top for Carlos. He'll drive it. Jaquan Carlos to the left hand, but he can't finish.
And that was a great job by Jaquan Carlos, realizing he had a gap and splitting the two defenders, just didn't get the floater to fall.
Timberlake has it poked away. Now for May, baseline. Out to Timberlake. Another three. This one is short. And Dubar fell down while pulling down that rebound to put him on the baseline. And that will give the ball back to Towson.
Towson on the 6-0 run over the last 2 minutes 40 seconds is kind of a similar story to the last game. Hofstra with a hot start, then comes out of the first media timeout a little bit cold, starting to miss some open shots.
Slight delay here as they're going to check something at the table. I believe they're going to look and see if Dubar did indeed fall down there along the baseline. So an early review. With Towson leading it by a point. Speedy Claxton called this game after Saturday's win at Charleston. He called it, as anybody would see, saying they're looking for a little bit of revenge. It's a payback game. Towson has won 3 straight in the series, winning both matchups last year, and then, of course, as we talked about, the game earlier this year down in Maryland.
And if you're talking about confidence going into the CAA tournament, as we see Pat Scary in his 11th season with Towson, really done a good job establishing this team as a power in the CAA. But you talk about confidence going into the CAA tournament for Hofstra, right? They dismantled UNCW. They beat Charleston on the road. It's kind of now this Towson team that's kind of their boogeyman, if you will, that they haven't been able to beat.
Offensive foul is called on BQ. And his first, already 14 fouls on the Tigers here, a little over 7 minutes in. Thomas, kick out for Estrada, who has been quiet. And Estrada, cross-court pass for Carlos. They put it on the floor. Jaquan Carlos falling away. It's an air ball, and on the loose ball is Ryan Conway. Very deliberate pace to this first half, exactly how Towson wants to play. Holden, fouled by Carlos on the drive.
And that's what Jaquan Carlos has to do. You notice it, he's guarding him very tight. And a professional move there by Holden to kind of swipe the ball down, get the foul call on the hand check. But on the offensive end for Jaquan Carlos, we've really seen his offensive game start to really develop. He's become more of that scorer that he was in high school. So he's missed a few shots here to start this game, but that's really the next step of his game. He talked to me about really that being the next step of his game he really wanted to improve on.
He had a big offensive game Saturday, kind of closed things out for the Pride in that win at Charleston. 3-pointer missed by the Tigers. Big rebound there for Warren Williams. And here comes Estrada into the front court, pushing the pace. Kick out for Thomas. Lost the handle. Tyler Thomas able to keep it in play, and eventually rolling there along the sideline. We'll give the ball back to Towson when we come back. A slow start to this one. It is the Tigers with a 1-point lead, 9-8, just over 8 minutes in. Feet on the floor and a chance to take in this Hofstra Towson game tonight.
Yeah, honorary special assistant to the head coach tonight. You wonder if they win, if Gio's going to have something to do with it. And if he loses, I guess he can never come. He'll never be invited back. But if you've been listening to Boomer and Gio in the morning, you've heard him talk a lot about how much he's been following this specific Hofstra Pride team and has been loving what Speedy Claxton has been doing.
Now, Hofstra alum, so good to have him back on campus tonight as Towson turns it over out of the timeout. Warren Williams in transition, but he can't finish. Good, powerful move there by Williams, and he missed the layup. Nigel Russell on the other end, bouncing inside for Silla. Pride bring a double team. Nice feed off for Russell, and the Tigers jump in front by 3.
And German Plotnikov kind of got sealed off there as Russell came around the ball, and he was able to get underneath the basket for the easy layup.
Plotnikov in the game here, along with Warren Williams out of the timeout. Estrada, open look, is short. And now Estrada struggles against Towson continuing. Misses his first 2 shots so far here tonight.
And the Pride just 3 of 13 overall from the field, 2 of 8 from downtown.
We touched on it earlier, Max, and Speedy Claxton was so adamant after the loss down at Towson as Timberlake knocks down the 3. But the Pride's issues were just not making shots, but they've had the same issues here through the first half of this first half.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I was curious to see what adjustments the Pride would make coming out of that first matchup, or if it really was just missing shots.
Estrada, there he is from the elbow, and now Estrada has his first points of the night.
And notice as he came around the screen, the hedge came, which happened in the last game, but then instead of going with the screen, he went against the screen, which created the space to get the layup.
Inside, BQ's floater goes. That was the first Pride make in quite a while. Their first make in their last 10 field goal attempts from Estrada, as BQ has Towson now up by 6. Estrada looking for more down the left side. Warren Williams is on it. Double teamed, and Williams with the tough finish.
Yeah, that was a great job by Warren Williams. Taking back a rebound that seemed lost, and then really establishing his strength down low and being able to finish off the glass.
It is a 13-4 Towson run here as they lead it by 4. Holden, guarded by Thomas, inside, wide open is BQ. Nice speed there from Cam Holden.
And Warren Williams got lost on that play. And Towson now 4 of their last 4. They're starting to roll offensively.
Stephon Carlos back to Estrada. Now Plotnikov, he'll fire the 3. Jeremy Plotnikov is short. Pride are 2 of 9 from downtown. They've had some decent looks so far, but again, have not been able to make shots against this Towson defense. Here's Holden off for BQ, the mid-range jumper. And boy, how about Chris BQ and the way he has played, replacing Charles Thompson.
And he's able, if he can stretch the floor like that and hit that 15 to 17 foot jump, 10 and 10 in their 19-point win against William and Mary. And the assists have been there, the points have been there, but now the rebounding's really starting to become a part of Cam Holden's game too. Back-to-back games with double-digit boards.
Bryce Washington in the game here for the Pride. Give them some real nice minutes on that 2-game road trip that returns it over here to Timberlake. Timberlake in transition, and he is into double figures with 11 points.
And if you're Bryce Washington, you can't make that pass. Picked up the ball in a bad position and just put it out to the top of the key, put it back into the middle of the court. Timberlake read it all the way.
A 10-point lead here for Towson. Estrada trying to make something happen, finds Washington, the reverse won't go. The Pride really struggling on the offensive end. Now just 2 of their last 14. Timberlake, elbow jumper off the mark, and Estrada has the rebound.
But that's exactly the look Timberlake wants. He hit that shot 3 or 4 times in the first meeting. Right on the elbow coming off a screen.
Warren Williams inside, a whistle. Blocking foul on the call. The call on the floor, but they say no basket there for Warren Williams. We'll get that sorted out after the timeout. There's another look at it. Williams inside. You be the judge. Some contact there from Holden. Say no basket. Well, I'll tell you what it is when we come back. 10-point lead for the Tigers here. 8 minutes to play in the first. To a good start. To a good start here tonight.
No, and in a start that has them shooting just 22% from the floor, or 26%, pardon me, from the floor. And a lot of it on the defensive end, though, has been not being able to locate Nicholas Timberlake, who already has 11. They have to be able to identify where he is at all times.
Timberlake has made 3 threes here in the first half to lead the way for Towson. Williams double teamed in the low post and knocks down the hook.
That was great post move by Warren Williams, and he missed a wide open Bryce Washington right underneath the basket. But Warren Williams, who the coaching staff says he has the best post moves, singular post moves in the CAA, so he showed off there.
Williams missed the first couple of games of the season due to injury, but has given the Pride a nice lift in his bench role since coming back. Just shy of 8 points per game on the year. Holden thought about the 3. 3 on the shot clock, has to get one up here. Turnaround jumper from the free throw line, and he banked it in. Oh, Cam Holden putting on the moves there. And the bank's second bucket.
The bank's open on a Thursday night for Cam Holden, who had to just huck one up at the end of the shot clock.
Pride still struggling here on the offensive end. Bryce Washington puts an end to that.
And Bryce Washington has been able to come off the bench the last 2 games, third one including today, and really provide a spark. Hit a couple threes against Elon. Hit a couple massive threes against Charleston.
And the first one here tonight for Bryce Washington, and we'll see if that gives the Pride a lift here as they trail it by 7. Holden takes it baseline into the corner. May an open 3. That's off the mark. Holden has the rebound. Back up and blocked by Williams. May on the 3rd try, and Christian May there to clean it up.
And that play, it was May who finished it, but shows you the versatility of Cam Holden being able to get to the basket as well as get the offensive rebound.
Estrada puts it on the floor. Now Plotnikov. German Plotnikov, a nice move to draw a foul.
And that's not something we've seen much in his arsenal, is being able to get to the rim and put the ball on the ground, split a couple of defenders with the jump stop, and now has a chance for 2 shots at the line.
Another look at Christian May there, the freshman who's played some big minutes off the bench for Towson. Had 5 points in the first meeting between these two teams down at Towson a couple of weeks ago. Plotnikov misses the first.
And German Plotnikov, after a good start to the season in non-conference play, once CAA play got underway, he's really been struggling from beyond the arc. It's been something that stroke he's been really looking to find it again.
Plotnikov makes the second. And the Pride will get Dubar and Carlos back in the game here as Thomas and Plotnikov take a seat.
This lead for Towson, much more impressive given that Charles Thompson's been on the bench since the first couple minutes of the game with those 2 fouls.
Holden has a size advantage here on Carlos. Timberlake, another 3 is good. Make it 4 first-half threes for Nicholas Timberlake.
And he had a hand in his face. That was tremendous defense by Bryce Washington, but Timberlake was just ready to catch and shoot from the top of the key.
He's got 14 of Towson's 29 points. Told you earlier he had a big game in this building last year and picking up right where he left off. Williams, another low post move. Warren Williams, big advantage down there in the low post.
And especially with Charles Thompson out. And we saw that in the first matchup. It was when Thompson was out of the game, it gave Williams a lot more room to operate and play his game.
Now Williams turns it over here. Hofstra bench says it was deflected and they get the call. Get another look at Williams. He is so good with his back to the basket, and they're using his footwork to get open.
And he's really just a guy who can bang in the post. So strong, so smart with the basketball and his footwork. And there's not really another CAA big, maybe with the exception of Thompson, who can guard him.
Pride turn it over. 5th turnover here in the early goings. Holden looking for a pass inside. Good D from the Pride. Washington last off of him.
And that was Bryce Washington's upset, and that was absolutely off of Bryce Washington, but it looked like he got hacked as he was trying to corral the ball before going out of bounds.
Pat Scary's club shooting at 50% from the floor here in the first half, holding the Pride to just 36%. Here's Holden, kick out. Russell, Holden, an NBA range 3 off back iron.
And that was the feel-good shot. That's the Towson has made a few shots. Let's see what we got.
Carlos eyes up a 3. Jaquan Carlos in and out.
Carlos has had some good looks. Nothing to show for it yet. 0 of 4 from the field, 0 of 2 from beyond the arc.
Timberlake, tightly by Washington. Another deliberate half-court set here from Towson. Holden is fouled.
And that's going to be the second one on Jaquan Carlos, and they've both kind of been ticky-tack, hand-check fouls.
He will take a seat here. Tyler Thomas back in the game.
Thomas had that hot start to the game where he hit the 2 threes.
Yeah, there you see it. Carlos grabbing the off arm there of Cam Holden. Not the foul you want to pick up if you're Jaquan Carlos. Likely headed to the bench here for the final 4 minutes of the half. Conway Off for Timberlake. He's got Washington on him. Skip pass. Now baseline drive. Russell at the rim. Tried to jam it on Dubar. The offensive rebound and the putback for Tyler Coleman.
And the offensive rebounding, that's one of the keys for Hofstra to limit. That's the 5th one already in this first half from Towson.
An 11-point Tigers lead. Estrada to a wide-open Williams.
And Hofstra being able to get more offensively in the last 6 or 7 minutes or so, but they're still struggling getting stops on the other end. Towson really using screens and good ball movement to find good looks close to the basket.
Conway, pump fakes on the 3. Fall away, jumper goes. And not just playing good defense here at the Tigers, but also very efficient on the offensive end. Another tough shot there goes down for Conway. Back to an 11-point game here. Do the Pride have a run on them before halftime? Thomas, pull-up jumper won't go. Tapped out, and Tyler Thomas back on it. Good work again there from Warren Williams. Another low post touch for him. Back out to Thomas. He'll take the 3. Tyler Thomas, no good. Williams has another offensive board. Here's Estrada from downtown.
And there's the 3 for Aaron Estrada against Towson for the first time this year. It was 0 of 12 against the Tigers over 2 games from beyond the arc prior to that shot.
This is the second bucket of the night for Estrada. Timberlake has been the star, though he misses that one.
And that last possession was made possible by the strong offensive rebounding by the Pride.
Estrada inside, looking for an angle, and he gets it to drop.
He was looking for an angle, didn't have one, yet still was able to finish. Really good awareness and strength by Aaron Estrada down low.
Timberlake driving on Washington, had it blocked, and there's a late whistle. Bryce Washington got up, got a piece of that one, but there was some contact, and it will be Timberlake to the free throw line when we come back. Aaron Estrada trying to get the Pride back in this game. They trail it by 6 late first half.
Compete was so much fun, along with Delaware making that surprise run. Will it be one of these 2 teams in the finals? Will it be Charleston, who's been in the national attention all year, or will it be somebody else? Who knows? That is the magic of March, and if you can't tell in my voice, I cannot wait.
Well, Max, this is a very important game, as we have touched on, for both of these teams. As Timberlake at the free throw line out of the timeout, and this is the first. Both teams coming in at 8-2, just behind Charleston at 9-1 after Hofstra beat them on Saturday. And Pat Scarry, Speedy Claxton both need a win in this game to try to keep their hopes alive to catch Charleston for that top spot in the conference.
Yeah, considering how good, especially the top 3 teams in this conference are, noting Hofstra, Towson, Charleston, you probably have to win this game if you want to get a shot at that 1 seed.
As Estrada's shot is blocked by May, but Dubar is on it. Another touch inside for Williams. Warren Williams for cutting Dubar. The patience to lay it in.
The patience by Dubar, but how about the patience from Warren Williams? Tried to get it out to Estrada, wasn't there, and great awareness by D-Stone Dubar, helping his big man getting the touch in the paint.
Holden guarded by Dubar. Patiently backing his way in. Cross-court pass for May, and he stepped on the sideline.
I really like that double team that Hofstra's been bringing a couple times when a Towson player is trying to post up in the low block. And as you see the replay here, the patience of Warren Williams and the awareness of Dubar to get into the lane and then using the pump fake. But I like that double team Hofstra's bringing on the defensive end in order to force Towson into a different pass.
Estrada. Off for Thomas. He'll drive it. Tyler Thomas, mid-range jumper goes, and the Pride back within 3.
And that mid-range jumper, it was Mr. Mid-Range Aaron Estrada. I think we can now equate that to Tyler Thomas, who seems to hit
in the half.
And on this possession, you got to locate Nicholas Timberlake. They've been working him off screens. He's in the corner right now, guarded by Hofstra's arguably best or second best on-ball defender in Bryce Washington.
Conway. Touch for Holden again in the post. Backing down Dubar. Van Holden. Kick out for Conway. He'll take it baseline. Picking up top for May. Now 7 on the shot clock. May drives it, looking for Coleman, and a whistle and an offensive foul is called on the Tigers.
Tremendous defense on 2 areas of that play by Warren Williams. The first one on the drive on the baseline, completely using his body to shut off the drive. And then how about this, stepping in, taking the charge, and giving Hofstra a chance to cut this to 1 or tie the game going into the locker room.
So shot clock is off here for the Pride. Estrada will hold for 1. Get a high screen from Williams. Down to 5. Double team comes. Estrada working left. Down to 2. Aaron Estrada with the left it short. And that'll do it for the first half. So the Tigers take a 3-point lead into the locker room. 34-31. The Pride have their starting 5 on the floor here. So do the Tigers. It is Hofstra basketball in those special gold uniforms for tonight. Working here from left to right to open the second half. Boachiatum hands off for Estrada, who's double teamed. They get it back to Nelson. Boachiatum inside looking for Dubar, who did not continue his cut, and the Pride turn it over on the opening possession of the half.
And notice Charles Thompson's back in. He sat all but 5 of those first half minutes with foul trouble. But they hard-hedged Estrada, got it to Boachiatum in the high post, and then expected Dubar to cut under the basket, and the cut was there, just Dubar was a second late.
Cross-court pass, open 3, in and out for Russell. Good look for Towson on their first possession, but Russell could not knock it down. Now Estrada to the scoop shot, and the Pride have the first points of the half.
And you heard Gio say it going into break that this was going to be Aaron Estrada putting on the typical Aaron Estrada performance in the second half. Good start as the Pride are now within 1.
Estrada, the leading scorer in the conference, over 21 points per game. As we told you off the top, coming off a huge week in which he was pretty much everyone's player of the week across the nation after a 40-point performance in the Pride's win at Elon, and then his big effort in their win over Charleston on Saturday. The Tigers have an answer with Sekou Silla.
And Silla's one of those guys who can really play physical, get to the basket, work hard on the glass, and he took D-Stone Dubar to work in the post.
Dubar off his hands, out of bounds, and the Pride have turned it over twice here in the early going of the half.
And that's just a lapse in communication from D-Stone Dubar. But I really like what the Pride are doing in keeping the ball moving, not allowing Towson to establish set defenses.
Thompson, the handoff. Inside, nice finish from Nigel Russell.
And that's 2 straight possessions where Towson's been able to use dribble penetration to get good looks at the basket from up close.
And Thompson making his presence felt there. Dishing off now, Boachiatum inside all by himself.
And that's how you beat the hedge on the screen. Thompson wants to come all the way up. Let Boachiatum sit there on the foul line. He turns around, no one in the pass between him and the basket.
Nelson Boachiatum taking advantage of the defensive lapse from the Tigers. Thompson again backs his way in. And Cam Holden off for Timberlake. And that'll be a foul on Thompson, his third.
Number 3, and that was a clear moving screen. And unfortunately for Towson in a moving screen because Timberlake had a good look at the basket.
Now Thompson will go to the bench.
And as we look at this play, beautiful ball movement from Jaquan Carlos, finding Boachiatum down low.
So with Thompson out of the game now, BQ back in.
And BQ provided a nice spark off the bench.
Carlos again for Boachiatum. Now Thomas. Pull-up jumper off the mark. Russell. They're going to get it to BQ inside. Now Timberlake. And they work it around to Holden. Silla. Powers on Dubar. Knocked out of bounds. And will stay with the Tigers. 14 on the shot clock.
Strong defense from the Pride. And one thing for Hofstra in that first half is they were really able to stay out of foul trouble, which has been something that has plagued them, especially Warren Williams and Nelson Boachiatum. Williams, no fouls. Boachiatum, 1. So Hofstra really has the ability to be a little more aggressive in this second half, especially down low underneath the basket.
A whistle, and that'll be on Jaquan Carlos. That is his third.
And Jaquan Carlos, the only one who really did have some fouling issues in the first half. All 3 fouls have been non-shooting fouls, and that's not one you want to take if you're Jaquan Carlos, just physicality of the game. But Bryce Washington checking back in, and he has been a real spark for the Pride the last 3 games, hitting threes and playing terrific defense.
Well, that's about defense. It was Carlos who was guarding Timberlake. Now Washington coming in to guard Nicholas Timberlake. This foul was on Tyler Thomas, and Cam Holden will shoot 2.
And that's why we talk about Cam Holden being such a tough matchup defensively, because you put a big on him, he's too quick. He can get around you. You put a smaller guy like Tyler Thomas on him, and he can use his strength to get to the basket.
Holden misses the first. Towson as a team just 2 of 5 from the free throw line. And he misses the second. So the Pride catching a break there. And they have it back on the offensive end with Estrada. Cross-court pass for Dubar. He'll fire the 3. D-Stone doesn't get the shooter's roll. Holden, Priscilla. Again, a slow pace to this Towson offense. BQ wide open inside, and he's fouled by Washington.
That's a good foul by Bryce Washington right there, because if not, BQ had a wide open layup. Somebody got lost in translation there as Boacciatum was drawn away from the basket, and that left BQ wide open down low.
And second on Washington, team's third already here in the half. Holden, the lob for Timberlake. Timberlake, tough shot, won't go. BQ and Boacciatum tied up, and that'll be a jump ball. Possession arrow in favor of Towson.
And Hofstra's lucky that Nicholas Timberlake wasn't able to completely corral the ball cleanly there, coming off the inbound play, because he had a nice play design. Look at that, at the basket.
And that's an offensive foul. Russell trying to spring Timberlake loose. Called for, and we've seen a very tightly called half so far, Max.
It's
5 fouls in the first 3.5 minutes.
It's been a really physical half, but you got to give the Hofstra defenders credit, fighting through screens and forcing Towson to up that aggressiveness a little bit. We heard Colin Curtin, Speedy Claxton talk about they wanted Hofstra to play tough in this game. Well, to start the second half, they are certainly playing tough.
Yeah, Colin Curtin told us before the game, Hofstra's special assistant to the head coach. It is the classic battle of skill versus toughness. Hofstra, a very skilled team. Towson, a very tough team. And as you said it, Max, Hofstra playing tough right now, sticking around in this game down by 3.
And I look to see, I really like what they've been doing in the second half to start it, which has gotten them a couple good looks in one basket already. When that hedge comes on Estrada, when they help off the screen at the top of the key, having that big man at that center dish, especially when it's Boacciatum at that foul line area, because Boacciatum's such a good passer, such a good decision maker, that if he has a lane to the basket, he can take it. If not, he's got shooters around him that he can distribute to.
Not sure what the delay is for here. The officials...
Yeah, I don't know. It seemed like a clear tip out of bounds.
There was a confusion on if there was a foul called or what it was. As you see, Greg Giannotti still sticking with it despite that early alarm that I'm sure will go off tomorrow morning. Still on the end of the Hofstra bench. He said at halftime, you heard it there. Can't go to work tomorrow morning. Awful loss, so he is rooting on his Hofstra Pride there at the end of the Pride bench. Here's Estrada, baseline, and he's fouled. He stepped out of bounds. Check that. Aaron Estrada stepped on the baseline a couple times. We've seen that tonight.
Yeah, and it was good help defense by BQ against the driving Estrada, forcing, not giving him any sort of space.
Well, points have been hard to come by, just 4 points apiece here in the second half, as Towson still leads it by 3. Holden, skip pass taken away by Washington. Bryce Washington, Pride have numbers. Inside for Dubar. D-Stone Dubar blocked at the rim by BQ. Tapped out where Estrada will track it down. Aaron Estrada, the three is short. Estrada is just 1 of 5 from downtown. Pride haven't scored in more than 2 minutes. Cam Holden to the floater, rattles out, gets his own rebound, back up, that won't go either. Like a lid on the rim on both sides of the court right now.
Well, tremendous defense being played on both sides.
Washington open three, too much on it.
Pat Cherry really calling for his team to slow things down right now. Game's kind of speeding up. Shots are being rushed a little bit.
Timberlake. He'll take the three. Nicholas Timberlake pops a roll around and down. His 5th made three.
And Boacchiatum came up to help and then sagged off a little bit as Estrada was getting back, but was just a second late, and that split second is all Nicholas Timberlake needs.
Timberlake up to 18 points, nearly half of the Tigers' points. Boacchiatum inside off the feed from Dubar. He's fouled, and Nelson Boacchiatum will go to the free throw line when we come back. It is a 6-point game here at the MAC. Towson on top of Hofstra. Nicholas Timberlake leading the way for the Tigers. The 6-point lead after holding them to 47 points in the first meeting back down at Towson a couple weeks ago.
Towson's so well coached, so strong defensively. If you had told me that Charles Thompson would have played 7 total minutes at this point in the game, and I'd tell you, whoa, Hofstra must be dominating. And you'd give so much credit to the bench. How about Sekou Silla, who's come in, Chris BQ, who's come in and provided really good minutes. It's just a deep, strong Towson team.
Well, Boacchiatum misses both free throws. And Pride shooting at just 38% from the floor. They are 4 of 17 from 3. And now 1 of 4 from the free throw line. As Towson continues to play the slow pace offensively that they're known for. Here's Thompson back in the game with a touch inside, but he can't finish.
Terrific defense by Boacchiatum, contesting without fouling.
Estrada for Thomas. Spinning in the lane, Tyler Thomas hangs in the air and knocks it down.
Great job by Tyler Thomas, backing up, using that spin move for the shot, but he had options there too, as it was a good offensive set by the Pride. It strung Estrada loose in the corner, so if Thomas didn't have the shot, Estrada was going to have an open three.
Thompson. Out for Timberlake. Extra pass, Conway open three is good. Big shot for Ryan Conway.
And that's what Timberlake does to you. He draws that attention, so Tyler Thomas helps a little bit off on the ball, leaves Conway open, and he knocks down the shot when called upon.
Estrada inside, falling away. Aaron Estrada, tough shot.
And Estrada into double figures for the Pride. It's Thomas and Estrada in double figures. The only one over 10 for Towson is Timberlake with 18.
Thompson, double team comes. 5-point lead here for the Tigers. And Holden works his way inside. 5 on the shot clock to the hook shot. It's well off. And Estrada tracks down the rebound.
And Nelson Boacchiatum is playing some elite defense in this second half right now.
Estrada kick out for Dubar, an open three. D-Stone off the mark.
And Dubar just cold from 3 tonight, now 0 of 4, 2 of 7 from the field overall.
He is an X factor for this Pride team. Speedy Claxton said, when he plays well, we play well. And Dubar just 4 points on 2 of 7 shooting so far tonight.
And it's so true. I mean, you look at the games that Hofstra's really played really well in. You look at that UNCW game, the Charleston game. D-Stone Dubar was a big factor in both those wins.
Swung around. 4 on the shot clock. May in the corner. He's fouled. And Christian May will go to the line to shoot 3 free throws.
Yeah, great ball movement around the perimeter with the shooters that Towson has, especially the attention Hofstra's paying to Timberlake right now. And then May in the corner, and Dubar got a little bit too aggressive.
First free throw is good for May. He's had a good freshman year. Had a season-high 14 points in the win over William and Mary on Saturday, making 3 threes. He's got the first 2 at the line as the Pride will get Warren Williams and German Plotnikov back in the game here. Williams was our player of the half in the first half, and the Pride need his offense. Was 4 of 5 from the floor, had 8 points in the first.
Yeah, he was really good at being able to establish his strength, and that is when Charles Thompson was out of the game, as he is as well right now. So we'll see if they look to get Williams more touches down low.
It is an 8-point lead after the free throws. Towson has outscored the Pride 13-8 here in the second half. Williams backing his way in. Double team comes. Here's Williams out for Washington. He'll take the 3. Bryce Washington connects.
And Bryce Washington continues to impress. But how about the pass from Warren Williams, his 3rd assist of the ball game, realizing the double teams coming and finding the open shooter on the opposite wing.
2 more big threes in this game for Bryce Washington. That has been his MO as of late off the bench. Holden working on Plotnikov. Double team comes. Swung around for Conway. He'll drive it. Looking inside. Estrada, some good defense, and Tyler Thomas is up with it. Here comes Thomas into the front court. Now Estrada. He'll take the 3. Aaron Estrada from downtown.
And Aaron Estrada really starting to come to life in this half. Had it at the top of the key. 1 step to his right. In your face.
Big one there for Estrada. His second made 3. He's up to 14 in the Pride with 6 straight to cut the Towson lead to 2. Timberlake falling away. It won't go. Washington a battle for it. Plotnikov on the floor. And a whistle and a foul that'll be on Towson. And the Pride bringing some energy and some life back in this building. They've got this down to a 2-point game as we have a timeout on the floor. Aaron Estrada, Bryce Washington doing it for the Pride from deep.
Night, and for the first time since early in this half, Hofstra with a chance to tie or take the lead.
And they have the basketball out of the timeout here. Get it to Warren Williams in the high post. Now Estrada, he'll drive it. Aaron Estrada to the scoop shot, and we are tied.
Estrada really starting to take over, up to 16 points.
Estrada struggled mightily in the meeting down at Towson. You know, he's had this game circled on his calendar, and he is stepping up here in the second half as the Pride have it even. Cam Holden on the other end puts the Tigers right back on top.
What a pretty spin move by Cam Holden with German Plotnikov guarding him. Just, now I'm here, now I'm not.
Estrada again. Will take the elbow jumper this time, leaves it short. Estrada leading the way for the Pride with 16. Timberlake has 18 to lead the way for the Tigers.
Thompson's back in.
Holden, double teamed. Swung around to May in the corner. Christian May, too much on it. And comes down to Estrada.
And Hofstra continues to do a great job limiting Towson to 1 shot.
Aaron Estrada blocked from behind, but a foul. He got the crowd to ooh and ah with that crossover move. And Estrada will go to the free throw line to shoot 2.
And for May, that was a, you can go earn those at the line. You are absolutely not putting this ball in the basket. How about Aaron Estrada just willing himself to the basket, dribbling through defenders, and getting to the basket.
And you see May there with the contact from behind. Estrada has struggled a bit from the free throw line this year. Just shy of 78% on the season, which good for most players, but for Aaron Estrada, who shot 93% last year, a bit off for him.
And you can see it throughout the season, when he's been missing free throws, you can see the frustration on his face. Free throws, they say it's half mental, half
physical.
No. I was going to say half mental. But Aaron Estrada, one of the cleanest strokes in the CAA, but just has been missing free throws, especially late in games. I mean, Speedy Claxton talked about it. The 2 missed 1-and-1 opportunities to close out that Charleston game were the only quote-unquote negatives, Speedy Claxton said with a smile after that performance against the 18th-ranked Cougars a couple days ago.
And Estrada did have 25, 7 and 6 in the win.
Commits the foul here. He does not agree, but it looked like he got him on the arm.
Fifth team foul on the Pride. Holden in for Thompson. Swung around for Timberlake. Timberlake on the drive to the left hand. Tough move, Nicholas Timberlake.
Yeah, recognizing that German's coming hard and getting able to get around him by the perimeter.
Push up ahead. Thomas open three, and the Pride take the lead.
Quick offense, finding shots early in the shot clock, continue to be successful for the Pride in this second half.
Estrada pushing that one ahead to Thomas, who knocks down the open three. Now Holden, cross-court pass in the post for Silla. Sekou Silla, tough move with the left, and back and forth we go in this second half.
Both teams, after struggling for the middle part of this second half from the field, both teams really finding their offensive rhythm once again.
And the Pride have made 4 of their last 5 from the floor. Estrada around the screen. They'll take the mid-range pull-up. Aaron Estrada from where he does it best, Mr. Mid-range.
And Mr. Mid-range now has 20 points and now officially has his highest 3-game total of the season.
40 points at Elon, 25 at Charleston, now 20 and counting here tonight. Thompson hands off for Timberlake. Another 3 is good. The 6th of the game for Nicholas Timberlake.
And Bryce Washington went underneath that screen and knew it right away. Nicholas Timberlake, when you give him that space and time, he's not missing that. Man, is he having a special night.
Estrada double teamed off for Plotnikov. Now Williams in the high post. Warren Williams backing his way into the hook, and it doesn't drop. Good look there for Warren Williams. You can feel the intensity picking up in the building here. Tight game, conference play down the stretch here of the second half. Holden, kick out, open 3, in and out for Russell. Offensive rebound and a whistle and a foul. It will be Towson ball when we come back. It is a 2-point game here at the MAC. It has been an entertaining one. Towson and Hofstra in a tight one down the stretch.
Fans towards Coach Mihalik. You talk to the coaching staff, and they genuinely loved Coach Mihalik.
'20 CAA championship. Of course, Hofstra unfortunately did not get to play in the NCAA tournament that year due to the COVID cancellation, but have a good chance to get back this year. Both of these teams in tonight's game tied at 8-2 in second place in the conference. Big time block from Warren Williams, and the Pride looking to capitalize in transition. Tyler Thomas can't knock down the corner 3. Get a foul on the floor as Williams got hit. And it was Williams sending the crowd into a frenzy here on the defensive end.
D-Stone Dubar got bodied, but then here comes Warren Williams with the strong rejection, letting him know his presence. And that got the crowd going a bit.
Jaquan Carlos back in the game with those 3 fouls here for the Pride. Taken away by Holden. Just ripped it out of the arms of D-Stone Dubar. Holden double teamed, kick out, Russell open 3, too much on it. Holden on the offensive glass, and there's a foul. And check that, just out of bounds off Tyler Thomas.
Well, a couple offensive rebounds in the last few possessions for Towson. It was about this time in the last contest that Towson really started dominating on the offensive glass. Same thing with Charleston this past Saturday, where it was towards the end of the game that Charleston really started having their way.
And Towson winning the rebounding battle 31-26, and Nicholas Timberlake is red hot for the Tigers.
25 points, 9 of 15 shooting, 6 of 10 from beyond the arc.
Off the miss, Towson here with a 4-point lead. Holden again in the low post. This has been the matchup that Towson likes. He's swinging around to Russell. He'll take it baseline, off for Holden. Extra pass, Timberlake again.
And Hofstra just cannot guard Nicholas Timberlake right now as Speedy Claxton needs a timeout. He's been the one. He's been really in the story of this game. Towson jumps out to a lead. Hofstra goes on a run to cut it to 1, 2, or tie it. They even took the lead on that last one, and then Towson's had an answer for every punch Hofstra's thrown back.
Pride here with it on the offensive end. They've got Bryce Washington back in the game, and he knocks down another three.
Man, if Bryce Washington is not earning himself more and more playing time every game.
And the Pride force a 5-second violation there. No pressure in the full court. Nobody threw it in as we get another look at Washington.
And look at him, just gets Timberlake to create a little bit of separation, and then just a clean shot from Bryce Washington at a time where Hofstra needed it in the worst type of way.
Estrada. He'll take the corner three. Aaron Estrada in and out. Gonna whistle. It's gonna be on Warren Williams here, going after that offensive board.
And I talked about it coming out of halftime. Hofstra's bigs not in foul trouble. That was Williams' second foul, and that really allows him to be more and more aggressive as this game goes on, and we're into the last 6 minutes.
So Cam Holden at the free throw line here. Speedy Claxton. The problem was something here, talking to the officials. And they're going to come over and check the replay, I believe. And it was an offensive foul called on Warren Williams going after that rebound. Foul. But the officials will take a look.
Now we look at the free throw shooting from Towson here, and it's been a little bit shaky today. Just 5 of 9 from the line. The Pride also not been terrific from the line, just 3 of 6. So you have a sense, one way or the other, free throws are going to play a big part in this game, Kevin. Making free throws at the end of the game, it's something that Hofstra a year ago was so good at, struggling a little bit more this year. But whoever can make this game may very well come down to who can make their free throws at the end of the game.
So it is Holden at the line here. For 1 and 1, and he misses the front end.
Talked about it. Holden missed a couple earlier in the game.
He was 0 for 3 now from the line. Pride down by 4. Estrada, the spin move and the jumper.
That was pretty. How do you guard that? That's one of those shots where great defense by Towson, but just better offense from Aaron Estrada.
He's got 22. 2-point game. Holden again backing his way in. This is where he's lived all night long. On Dubar to the hook shot, left it short, has his own rebound. Ball is loose, out of bounds. Will stay with the Tigers with 19 to shoot.
But that was good, strong defense from D-Stone Dubar. As you look at Aaron Estrada here, just a step back mid-range jumper, so clean from the probable CAA Player of the Year this year. And this battle between Timberlake and Estrada has been so much fun to watch today.
Well, Timberlake might have something to say about that, the way he's played tonight, Max. 28 points for Nicholas Timberlake. 7 of 9 from 3. Fall away jumper rattles home. Nicholas Timberlake loves playing here at the MAC. Thomas on the other end attacks the rim. Count it and 1.
Tyler Thomas had the 3 on the right wing. Recognized that there was no help defense underneath. And then was able to drive to the basket. BQ a little too late, and Thomas able to finish through contact.
Foul was on BQ, his 4th. So BQ and Thompson each have 4 fouls, both big men for the Tigers. As Thomas at the free throw line does not convert.
Free throw
shooting. A 2-point game.
Free throw shooting for both these teams. Whoever loses this game, they can partly attest that to who's been to missing free throws at the line.
3 for 7 from the line now are the Pride. Holden looking for Timberlake as Washington fell down. The Pride do a good job scrambling. Now 7 on the shot clock. Another 3. This one off the mark. Offensive rebound. Holden gets knocked around. Silla is on it and lays it in.
No one boxed out Cam Holden, who used his athleticism to go flying through the air.
Another offensive rebound turned into points by the Tigers. Without rebound of the Pride, 36-27. Here's Estrada. Kicks for Thomas. He'll settle it down. Now take a deep 3. Tyler Thomas!
And he knew it. The minute he released it, turned around, put the three in the air. We're in for a good finish here, Kevin. This has been so much fun in the second half.
Thomas has 18. He's made 4 threes. Timberlake, guarded by Washington. Timberlake, fall away long, 2 off the mark. Tapped out to Williams, and the Pride have it.
And Hofstra, 2 guys with a good contest there on Timberlake.
Estrada. For Dubar, extra pass, Washington in the corner. Bryce Washington has another.
And look at Speedy Claxton. He's fired up the Pride, or fired up the Mac. He's fired up the Pride back in front.
Bryce Washington off the bench has made 4. In 2 tonight. And the Pride, thanks to a big 3 from Bryce Washington, his 4th of the game. We're on a 6-0 run, and they have a 2-point lead here with under 4 to play. Touch inside for Charles Thompson, who's back in the game with his 4 fouls for Towson. Guarded by Warren Williams. Thompson to the spin move with the left hand. It bounces out and knocked out of bounds. Last off of the Pride.
But more terrific defense against Charles Thompson from these Hofstra bigs, who still has 0 points in this game. He has just as many turnovers, or sorry, pardon me, he has 4 rebounds, 2 turnovers, but Hofstra's done such a good job on him today.
15 on the shot clock here for Towson. Holden inside for Thompson. Charles Thompson off glass, and we're tied at 67.
And you can only keep him quiet for so long as I look for them to really get him going in the post these last few minutes.
Double team comes on Estrada. Now they back off. Aaron Estrada, he'll take the 3. Estrada from downtown.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. This stretch that Aaron Estrada is on right now. Just creating something out of nothing on these possessions.
Well, when the Pride have needed Estrada, he has stepped up here down the stretch. Now 25 points. Timberlake has a game-high 30 for Towson. Finds Conway for an open 3, and the answer for the Tigers.
And a great screen from Thompson at the top of the key, springing Conway open on the left wing. We're tied. This is a game, a 2-minute game.
Well, this has been a high-level basketball game, especially here in the second half. Tied at 70 apiece. Dubar, he'll drive it. Bounces for Williams. Warren Williams to the hook shot, it goes.
And as good of a defense as Towson has been this year, and in this game too, Hofstra doing a really good job getting basically anything they want right now. Let's see if they can get a stop on the defensive end.
They've made their last 5 shots. Thompson for Timberlake. Around the screen, long 2 is good for Nicholas Timberlake. 32 now for Timberlake on 12 of 20 from the floor. Again, these 2 teams tied for second in the conference, both at 8-2. Both need a win in this game to keep their hopes alive of finishing first in the regular season in the CAA. 5 on the shot clock. It's Thomas spinning in the lane. Tyler Thomas, fall away. Jumper goes!
And everything Tyler Thomas has seemed to touch. From that mid-range fadeaway game turns to gold. Double figures right now. You force somebody else to beat you if you're Hofstra, but you do not let Nicholas Timberlake get that clean look he's looking for. If he's coming off screens, you have to have Warren Williams there to help hedge off that screen. No open looks coming off screens or beyond the arc for Nicholas Timberlake.
Towson draws up here out of the timeout. Tigers have 2 timeouts left. Pride have 1, and both teams are in the bonus. Thompson off for Russell. Thompson in the low post. Guarded there by Williams. Charles Thompson to the left hand with a hook shot. Bounces out. Offensive rebound, Holden. Fresh 20 for Towson. Open 3 off the mark for Conway. And Washington has the board. Shot clock is off. Pat Scarry calling for a foul. They got to give one, and they do on Aaron Estrada.
And now Hofstra, we talked about free throws. Great defensive work on the defensive end. Now it's down to Aaron Estrada to make free throws. He was in this position 4 days ago against Charleston. Had a chance to hit 1-and-1, missed 2 of them. So a chance to kind of silence those ghosts, if you will, at the line for Aaron Estrada right here. 1-and-1 opportunity, both teams. That was the 8th team foul for Towson.
Yeah, so Estrada will shoot a 1-and-1, and as soon as that shot missed, if you could see Pat Scarry, he was jumping out onto the court, calling for that foul. With the shot clock off, Towson had no choice but to give it, and they give it on Estrada. And he knocks down the first.
And look at his face. You can see his face, the relief that he had after that.
And he has missed, as you talked about, Max, some big free throws late in games. Aaron Estrada was 93% from the free throw line last year. This season, in the last minute of games or overtime, now 17 of 23, makes them both. Timeout on the floor. Hofstra has a 4-point lead.
And those were 2, needless to say, massive free throws from Aaron Estrada. Now
Shots here in the second half tonight.
Yeah, they've made shots, and it's been the 2 guys that didn't make shots in Towson, Aaron Estrada and Tyler Thomas, who are a combined 7 of 16 from beyond the arc. But I cannot talk enough about the impact that Bryce Washington has had to this lineup over the past 3 games.
Holden races it up the floor. 15. Timberlake, an open 3. No good. Rebound tapped around. Who's on it? It is Holden. Cam Holden guarded tightly by Williams. 5 here. He fires up his 3. That's off the mark. Washington's got it. And a foul is given. The Pride with a defensive stand. And they are 2 seconds away from a huge CAA win.
And this is going to be a win that took real guts and took effort. I mean, Towson's a team that has given them so much trouble recently. How about the defense? Holden gets the offensive rebound, but then just forcing him to throw up a prayer. Now Bryce Washington a chance to really ice it at the game, and no more of a fit to ice it.
Well, it's a 1-and-1. Washington missed the first, but it doesn't matter. The Pride